everyone, welcome back to Open Here with me, EnbyAndy, and for this week's episode 6. And again, we're going to talk through a few of the questions I've got from you, the people who watch, and we'll talk through the topics, discuss, and we've got some pretty interesting ones to go through this week. So, starting off, we're going to talk about using the word queer. Then we're going to discuss how do non-binary people have sex. We're going to talk through advice for my younger self. And then finally we'll move on to why is being non-binary more common lately. So I'm sure you can agree, interesting topic. So let's kick off with the first topic, using the word queer. Now, this one was brought to me by a comment on Facebook. And someone rightly said that queer was originally used as a term, a derogatory term against the LGBTQ plus community, and it has been reclaimed, I believe. I definitely feel like I've reclaimed my queerness by using the word queer, and I believe it's a powerful tool to be able to reclaim language which has previously been used to put you down, to make you feel bad, to make you feel other. To be able to use that is a positive thing. Now, queer, as I say, it was originally a slur word. A lot of people within the community still believe that is the case, but I believe that we can use the word queer to describe our community, because the LGBTQ plus community is now, it's huge. It's an umbrella term which covers so much, and by using the word queer, we can use that to describe all of us. And it's you don't have to then single out individuals. It's covering everyone. I believe it happened early in the 80s with the kind of a queer revolution, where people started reclaiming that word, and similar to the black community where they've reclaimed the N-word, I believe the LGBTQ plus community has reclaimed the queer word. Now, I do understand that some people will still feel a bit queasy about using that word. However, when I use the word queer, I mean my family, my LGBTQ plus community. It's a word of love for me. So I'm queer, a lot of my friends are queer. It's not a bad thing. I believe that it's what makes us brilliant, and what makes us individual, and what makes us special. So yes, I'm happy to use the word queer. I know some people won't be. Do what makes you feel comfortable. If you want to use the word queer, by all means do it. However, yeah, there will be some people who have a bit of an issue with it, especially from the older generation of LGBTQ plus people. But we're reclaiming it. We're making that word into something different and something happy and something to be proud of. So that's my take on using the word queer when it has been a slur word in the past. The second topic, how do non-binary people have sex? Point one, and there is actually only one point to this: none of your business. How we have sex is between us and a person we're having sex with. If you're gonna have sex with a non-binary person, you're gonna find out, and I'm sure they will discuss what they want to, whether genitals or not, or anything else. It's a very personal thing. But yeah, if you're with a non-binary person, you will find out. But no, I'm not saying anything. Now, advice for my younger self. I grew up in two very small mining villages. So I was originally born in the 80s, and where I grew up was actually used as a set for Billy Elliot, so you can get a bit of an idea of what it was like. Very deprived, very isolated, very close-knit community, quite traditional, where being queer wasn't a thing, really. And if it was, you were bullied, you were ostracised, and you were made to feel bad for that. Looking back, I mentioned earlier in previous videos, I came out at the age of 18. I knew I wasn't straight well before then, but I kept it within myself until I felt I was ready to come out and ready to be proud about myself. And that wasn't only until I started to move out of that small hometown little community I was in. So the kind of advice I'd have for my younger self would be to be more accepting of who you are, and not feel like you have to fit into a role that is in society. So I mean, I felt like I was a square peg and having to fit into a round hole. I didn't fit in as a straight person. I mean, I definitely don't fit as a straight person now. So be kind to yourself and accept you for who you are. I think that's the best advice you can give anyone for anything, not just to do with being LGBTQ. Don't know what the P is. LGBTQ plus. Accept yourself and love yourself first. Everything that you do in life will be easier if you love yourself, if you accept yourself, and if you come to terms with who you are. And really, if I had done that at a much younger age, I think I would have had a much happier childhood, happy teenage years as well. Just by having that kind of revolutionary act of, well, hold on, this is me. I like me. This is who I should be. I shouldn't be afraid of who I am, and I shouldn't be afraid to show. So yeah, accept yourself, love yourself, and be yourself is definitely the kind of watchwords for what I would give my younger self. And just be more confident and worry less about what people think about you, and just accept you for who you are. And life would be easier, a hell of a lot easier. And the final topic we got is, why is being non-binary more common lately? Now, this one I kind of disagree with. I don't think it's becoming more common lately. I think it's becoming more accepted and more understood. Way back, decades and decades ago, trans people and non-binary people existed, but it was a lot less accepted. It was a lot less understood. And because it's now more accepted and more understood, we are coming out of the woodwork because we feel safe to do so. It's not that it's more common now. It's, if you look back historically through the LGBT plus community, there's not very many elder members of the community, and that's because people weren't educated properly. They were made to go back into the closet. A lot of them died from AIDS and the pandemic, with the AIDS pandemic on there. A lot of them just haven't lasted because it wasn't right, it wasn't safe for them to do so, that society didn't treat them right. And now, people like myself, my fellow Enbys, more trans people are coming out, because society has moved on to a point now where we understand what makes each person unique and individual, and I think we now can accept that. I think we can now understand that, and we can actually love people for being who they are and being proud enough to stand up and say, this is me, this is who I am, and this is how I feel. I mean, I think 10, 20 years ago, being non-binary, I'd never heard of it. I don't think many people would have. But now, we're more visible. We have celebrities coming out in the mainstream media with the correct their own pronouns of they, them. We have movie stars transitioning, like Elliot Page. There's much more awareness and understanding of who we are now. So I think people asking why has been non-binary more common lately, it's a kind of a question which can be used to question all kind of LGBTQ plus people. Why is being pansexual more common? Why is being gay more common? It's because we're now more accepting. We have our own safe space. We have our community and family around us, and we feel able to be, again, who we are. And as I mentioned before, if you can love yourself and acknowledge yourself and understand yourself, you're going to feel much more open to come out and stand and be proud to say, this is me and who I am. So those are the topics for this week's episode. I do like the cheekiness asking about sex, but yeah, it's a private thing. But it's still very fun filming these, and I'm getting some really heartwarming messages from people who've watched these videos who are coming out as non-binary, or who've had their sons and daughters now becoming non-binary, and they're asking, well, what do I do? I'm so used to calling them he, him, she, her. What advice have you got for me? So I'm really pleased that this YouTube channel is reaching those people and able to help them and give them a bit more understanding. And again, this is now the point where I ask you to send in questions and comments for next week's episodes in the comment section on YouTube. Put your questions. You can reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. get in touch with me. Any kind of burning questions or desires you want to know about being non-binary in the UK as someone who was assigned male at birth, get in touch and let's have a chat. And again, I'm going to reiterate that it's bloody hot lately. If you're in the UK, we're going through a bit of a heat wave at the moment. And I'm going to say again that it's hot boy, hot girl, hot Enby summer. Dress in whatever you feel comfortable with and dress cool. Stay out of the sun for too long. And yeah, I think I'm looking pretty good in my dresses and I'm feeling more confident. And now's the time to show off. And even if you've got a dodgy t-shirt tan like me, now's the time to dress how you want to dress and just enjoy the summer. But stay hydrated, use sunscreen and stay safe. So this is all for this week's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll hear from you shortly in the comments. But in the meantime, stay safe and stay friendly, and I will catch you next week. Thank you very much, guys and girls, and other ones. Take care.